But maybe if we start off with the automated Word content preparation, so at a Word level already. So before we even kind of convert to PDF, what are some of the things we can do to help you prepare your content for conversion? So the document validator, the DocShifter doc validator, allows for some automated Word checks to be performed and fixes. So we can analyze, open the Word, analyze the content for comment related issues, images, headings, watermarks, bookmarks, paragraph issues, table issues, styles, and so on. So there's a whole heap of issues we can look for when we analyze the content, and then actually either produce a report that kind of shows you what issues it's found, or it can actually return a fixed version of the document. So again, this can integrate directly into SharePoint, specific folders, or whole entire libraries as you like. You can integrate this into an automated flow with your life cycles. So as you change your life cycle state within SharePoint, these workflows would engage automatically and pick up your content for analysis, without any human manual intervention whatsoever. So we're going to look at various linking issues, heading issues, etc. You define which issues you want to look for, and what, if you're going to fix them, how exactly you should fix them as well. So there's some parameters you can set to say, maybe in the US, you perform slightly different manipulation than if you're talking in Japan or Europe. So you can set some different parameters, different rules, depending on where that content is going to be used. And as I say, that report that's generated or the fixed documents can then be returned either back into SharePoint or somewhere else if you need. So with that, if I take a simple workflow, it's just a 3-step workflow of taking content from a demo environment in SharePoint. I then do a doc validation. So I'm going to perform a series of checks on the content, and I'm going to return the results somewhere back in SharePoint. Simple workflow. Each step has some configuration to say, okay, I'm going to monitor this location in SharePoint. Where is the location in SharePoint I want to monitor? What's the library? What's the folder? How often do I want to look in that location, etc.? What is the trigger for that? So I can say, set a column or any attribute in there to say, this is the trigger to send that request. And that can just literally be a check in SharePoint to say, it's a validate checkbox. And either a user can manually set that value to be on, in which case the document will be sent, or that could be set automatically in your life cycles. So we basically define those triggers in the workflow. And then you say, what checks do you want to perform and how do you want to fix things if you say you want to fix? And apologies, the red box is slightly misaligned there. And then where do you want the results to go? But in this case, I'm putting things back into SharePoint to a different library, but you could return the results to the same folder, just as a PDF document alongside the Word file or whatever it may be, or as a new version of the document after it's been fixed. So we just define the configurations for each step in the workflow. Very straightforward. So if you have a look at what that would look like in SharePoint, if I just have a very simple setup here with a library, a demo library, and I have a validate folder in here, I have a very simple Word document that has a couple of columns of info. I've got a validated column and a fixed column. And I can simply define in here, if I check the box to say I want to fix, it may sort of go through the workflow and actually fix the content. If I don't set fix, it will just generate a report, for example. And then a trigger might be just validated. Once that trigger is set, it would actually send a request off to DocShifter automatically. So once that happens, you could return the results. And in this case, the results are returned to a different location, a different library. The output rendition, you can define that though. It could be the same library. And then I've either got, for example, a report that shows me what issues it's found in PDF format, or a fixed version of the Word document. In this case, I'm putting it in a separate folder. So what I can see in the report ultimately is a PDF report that basically just lists every issue that it's found in the document for the checks that you told it to perform. You don't have to perform all of them. You can say which ones you do and don't want to. So it tells me some summary of the info, a summary info about the document, and then a series of list of all the checks it was told to perform, and how many of each of those checks, how many issues of each of those checks it's actually found. Then how many was able to correct if you told it to correct, and then how many were left unresolved. So you get that summary to begin with, and then you get the detail for each check to say where each of the errors it's got, it then lists exactly where that issue is found. Where are there manual page breaks been inserted? Where do you have comments remaining? Where do you have cross-reference issues, heading numbering issues, tables not fitting the page, unused bookmarks, etc. So a big report that shows you every single item, and that report can again be used by an author or somebody whose job it is to actually, obviously, analyze and fix the content, and they can use that report to update the Word document. So that's one way: produce the report and update the document. Use that to help you update the document. The other option is to let it automatically fix the content too, in which case, this is again a very simple dummy document, clearly not a regulatory document here, but it just highlights some of the issues you may face. Heading numbers that are out of sequence. We have 1 followed by 3, then 4. I have empty paragraphs in the document. I have watermarks existing in the content, tables that aren't fitting the page width, heading white spaces where I've got additional spaces, padding spaces at the end of the heading titles, images not in line, etc. So a simple kind of conversions. Once that document's analyzed and fixed, all of those things could have been fixed for you automatically. So my heading numbers have been updated sequentially correctly. I've got empty paragraphs have been removed. My tables fitting the page width, my images, the text is now in line with the images, comments have been removed, etc. Well, the actions that you've told it to perform will be performed. You don't have to do everything. You can decide what you do and don't want to take place. So from a Word content preparation, this is what we could do. And again, this is fully automated. There's no need to go into Word, engage on anything. This just happens automatically in the background and returns this updated fixed document or the report for you.